Hello, and welcome to Twitch. So, we're going to be going to a town. There's some social aspects returned. Last time we were here, there may or may not have been a terrorist act committed by one player. So, it might be a little bit interesting. But we'll see how the players are today. So, let's go check in with them. Hello, players.
Hello, Sev.
Hello.
So, where is everyone tonight?
In the thoughtful mustache?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, that's what Ethel is.
So the door kind of swings open to the mustache, and what most of you would recognize as a messenger of sorts starts looking around and quickly lays eyes upon the drow in the room.
Sorry, I was wrangling cats. Yes.
Walks over to you and hands a letter. Vale, right?
Yeah? She
And just-
takes the letter.
Then nods his head and walks away.
She looks very confused and opens it up.
Immediately you recognize like the crest on the top of the letter as official notice from Stonehaven.
Oh, she looks a little surprised.
You are tasked with a number of jobs, all requiring you to return to Stonehaven.
Oh. Alrighty.
It also does tell you to bring a portion of the adventuring community with
Okay.
you, is one of the tasks.
She looks around at all the people. She's like, finds Goddard. She's like, so she kind of shows him the letter. We going Stonehaven, kind of now-ish?
We're not walking.
No.
Cool. Suits me just fine. He lifts a bottle of whiskey.
So she goes over to Anna. She's like, well, you wanna come to Stonehaven? I don't know who you wanted to play Anna. We didn't talk about that.
She NPC nods.
Okay. And she'll look around at who else is in the room. There's a few
You look around. There is
familiar people.
there is an Azuri. There is an Ethel. There is a Zelia, and there is a Terrence.
Okay. Well, she's not familiar with all of them all that well, but I think Hazila, she knows the best. She's trying to think about how she's going to talk to people, and then she's like, wait a second. These are adventurers. And she just kind of holds the letter up in the air. And she's like, hey, y'all, I got me a little adventure thing. Y'all want
Sweet!
Adventure?
And the line forms.
God looks at Val and says, well, just open the floodgates, why don't you?
Terrence takes his feet in off the table. Go on then, let's hear it.
Terrence, give me a history roll. Azuri, give me a history roll. You guys have different, varying backgrounds. So you guys would have some information that you would have heard about the place you're going.
I knew nothing about it, apparently.
Terrence, you think it's the best place for your person of your background ever to go. It's the lawless Wild West in your mind.
Okay.
You're like, oh, I can do some work here.
Excellent.
Azuri, you would have known that there's been a number of bards that have traveled to the area. mainly to gain some stories of things that happen on the other side of the there's a large lake. I'm looking its name up right now. Let me just get that for you. Because there's a number of old stories, and they tend to pay pretty well if you write them.
She's interested.
It is. It's Elhim.
Okay, Ethel's just like adventure. Why not?
So just south of Stonehaven is a large body of water known as the Cobalt Waters. On the far end of that, there's the Haunted Mist Step, which was home to Bolton Keep, which is considered haunted. And, various bards have ventured there trying to spend the night and recant the tales, kind of like a spooky, almost like what we would consider Halloween type stories that are really popular around November.
Seb, could you give me that name once more, please?
Which one? The Keep or the Haunted?
Yeah, the Keep. Yeah, sorry.
Bolton.
Thank you.
Odds are really very interested. If she's heard stories from that place.
And let's see. What else do we have for backgrounds in the party? We have Ethel's druid. Ethel, give me a nature check. So whoever's rolling for Ethel. I believe it's you, Fishy.
Am I rolling for Ethel?
I believe it is you, yes.
Alrighty. Sorry, everything just decided to freeze up here. Okay. So is whose character again?
Ethel. Which is Laws.
Laws. Right. Okay. It's too many names to remember all at once.
And we have been invaded by a kitten.
What?
We've been invaded by a kitten.
Kitten. Okay. History?
Nature, actually.
Nature. 17.
So, Ethel, you're from this continent, correct? Just a wandering druid? Okay. You would know that to the west of the Haunted Mist Step is a dense, almost kind of considered quote-unquote holy land for druids known as the Lonely Thicket. It is a very dense, there's only one structure in the entirety of the Lonely Thicket. It is pretty much full nature. No logging happens, no nothing. And Goddard, give me a religion check.
Religion check.
And Mira, you can give me we'll go history. You're a dwarf.
I'm famously bad at these.
You know all the rocks.
Every single rock.
So Goddard, you know that to the south, to the east of the Haunted Misstep is a just colossal mountain known as Mount Gemonian, and rumored in there was a once holy city. You're not sure to which deity, but you've heard rumors known as the lost city of Gammon.
Ooh.
And for the dwarf, because she knows the rocks, surrounding the Lonely Thicket as a barrier, this kind of the Haunted Misstep and the Lonely Thicket is between the other. On one side is this gigantic mountain. The rest is pretty much surrounded by water. However, there is one kind of chain of peaks known as the Adamantine Slopes, which has never really been mined. They did find adamantine there, but they've never been able to mine it successfully.
How do you spell that?
I will type it out there. that's generally what all of you guys know going in. So Vale, you further read the letter. There's going to be a meeting with the adventuring community. They also have requested your distinct presence to meet with the guild.
Okay.
You're not sure why, it doesn't say why. And then, finally, you have a delivery to make to Stonehaven from Cortia.
Oh, okay.
And it tells you to talk to Aronin Bayers, who you would recognize as the name of the guard captain.
Is the name of, sorry?
The guard captain.
The guard captain. Okay. Alright. Well, and we're going by the teleportation circle, right?
Yeah, unless you guys want to travel for a few months.
No. Vale looks pretty anxious about going back, by the way. So the guard captain is at the other end of town from where the teleportation circle is. So
It would only be 15 days, sorry. I actually counted it out.
oh, right. Only. She looks around. Well, I'll wanna run on down there, pick it up, and then we'll meet you at the teleportation circle, I reckon.
Where is the teleportation circle?
In the Institute, I believe.
Which is in the upper district.
Okay, but we can't bring weapons to the upper district. I'm not wrong there, am I?
In the terms that you use in the teleportation circle, they would take your weapons from you, carry them to the teleportation circle, and then give them to you there.
I just wanted to check. That's all.
Yep.
Terrence will agree to come along, he'll go upstairs and get his adventuring kit and his weapons because he doesn't carry them around with him all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Vale will hand off the little baby fox to Sora. Sora will take care of her. And she'll get her stuff. I guess she on her own can just run down.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, okay. She'll just she doesn't have a lot of stuff to bring, so she'll just grab some stuff and go. What's something? Yeah. They did some shopping the other day, so she has some presents to bring home. So she's gonna run down to the guardhouse and pick up the package.
Okay. So you make your way down to the lower district. You're standing outside of, the guardhouse. As you knock on the door, a guard comes into you, show them the letter, and he just has to wait a minute, and the guard captain will actually bring it right out to you.
Okay.
You're there for no more than 5 minutes before the door swings open, and you see the guard captain, and he's holding what looks to be like a chain.
Sorry?
He's holding what looks to be like a metal chain.
What's this?
He steps aside and hands it to you. He says, you're taking her home.
Who?
You see Lena shackled in the chain to her shackles.
Alrighty. He looks very confused. She just kind of... You know what? She just gets this look like... I'm not
He hands you paperwork. He just hands you paperwork.
Paperwork. I do the paperwork. I just treat it like it's barely even happening. and walk super awkwardly back to the teleportation circle where I guess everybody else is waiting.
Terrence will look at prisoner exchange.
She's kind of shrugging, like, hey, they handed me the paperwork. They told me to bring her. I don't know what's going on.
Oh no, I mean, does the teleportation circle bring us straight there, or do we have to like travel?
No, I'll bring you right into the town. Right into the town.
Right there.
Oh, okay. No, I was just wondering if we are bringing a prisoner, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So we're getting ready to go.
Okay, so you guys make your way into the institute.
Before they go, she stops. Then she says to the other people, she's like, "Look, this is my hometown. I grew up here. I worked hard so that I don't get murdered on the street here, having a reputation. You ain't gonna ruin that for me."
What define reputation?
She kind of points to her face.
The fact that she's a drow.
Okay. I mean, are we saying now the bad reputation or the very good kind of reputation here? Because if it's a lawless place, you know.
No, she has a very good reputation there, and she would like to keep it that way.
Alright, that's fine. As long as we get paid, that's fine. But I have no intention of rocking the boat.
His only nod says, understandable. Understandable.
Oh, well,
They're just nods.
I'm sure that'd be a good noodle.
She just felt that warning was necessary before they left.
Terrence will walk up to her and went with to John and kind of whisper, "What's the story with the other one?"
To who?
To Madfish's car. It's Tenon, isn't it?
No, she's playing Vale.
Sorry, my mistake. Vale, and ask what's the story about the prisoner there?
I don't know. I mean, I heard that she did something. Broke some stuff. I don't know. And then next thing I know, they're handing her to me in chains. I reckon she getting sent home for.
I mean, should we be expecting a baying mob on the other side?
She just kind of shrugs. She never knew, like in Stonehaven.
You would think that, I mean, based on everything you know, they're sending her home. Whether whether she's gonna face charges in Stonehaven or not, you do not know.
Do not know.
Yeah, you're set there, and apparently Stonehaven's gonna deal with it. That was what it seemed like to you.
Fair enough, I guess. If you don't know, we'll find out, won't we?
I guess we will. So we'll go to the circle.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys teleport through. You guys end up kind of surfacing here. As you guys, the swirling arcane light surrounds all of you. Your vision is pretty much turns almost into a bright blue for a second as you blink before it starts to dissipate, and you find yourself inside a pretty much wooden building. There's not much here. There's what you would immediately notice as what seem to be like 2 town guards, a little bit more well equipped than your normal town guard. They look to all of you and they see the person in chains first. And one kind of approaches you, Vale.
She hands over the chain and hands over the paperwork.
Yep, and they immediately, thank you, and kind of escort Helena off outside. Vale, you would realize that you're pretty much near the center of the city, where the trade district kind of is. Most of the shops are. This is the generalized teleportation circle. There's 3 teleportation circles in The city in all. There is one in the, which is more like the noble quarter. There is one inside the actual palace itself, and then there is this one, which is the general use teleportation circle.
Okay. So she's looking a little nervous, and she's kind of looking at Goddard and looking at Anna, and oh well, where do we go first?
Goddard sips his whiskey bottle, stops, moves it away from his mouth, peers down it, sort of makes the sort of handing it off gesture to Vale.
Mm-hmm. No
She
cheat.
would take it. She would
Oh, yeah.
shake it and realize it's empty.
And then she'd smack him in the arm with it.
There's only one place we must go, Vale.
Okay. Oh, what about all of them? They don't all need to come and family.
Hmm.
What do you want us to do?
Well, what was else was on the list to do? There was
You had a meeting, the adventurers meeting with the
adventurers, yes.
meeting with
To
the
send
city.
it. Yeah.
You personally had to go to the Alchemist Guild, and then the rest
Yeah.
of it is whatever you guys were gonna do.
Okay. So I will yeah. So you guys can just go look around city, see what there is. You could go to the meeting. You could go and see the Alchemist Guild if you want. She looks really nervous, by the way.
Well,
You're fidgety.
some of us need to go to this meeting, yeah, correct?
Correct.
Well, Terrence is meeting. That's all the same to you. I don't know too much about alchemy.
Alright, so you want to go to that meeting of adventurers?
Yeah.
Okay, well, she'll, I assume it says on the thing where they're supposed to go?
Yeah, it's like they're actually traveling towards the what would be known as the keep of the city.
Okay, so she'll give him directions. She's lived there her whole life. She knows where everything is.
So, are we splitting up into groups then, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can move yourselves into groups themselves.
Well, Terrence will follow the directions given and head toward the meeting then.
Terrence is
Whatever you
going there. I get Vale and Goddard together. Zuri, are you heading towards the meeting? Are you going somewhere else? What are you doing?
Osri is gonna follow Terrence.
Okay, Ethel.
He'll just follow the group.
And Hazelia.
She'll just follow those group.
Okay, so one person in each group roll initiative, and that's how we'll handle events while you guys are separated. Second.
The wizard and the cleric never stood a chance.
You could have always not played.
Well, dex-based classes and all that, you know.
So, all right, Azuri, you guys get your directions as you, Terrence, Ethel, and Hazelia head towards the upper district. You walk your way through the trade district, number of different shops, kind of a little bit of everything. You guys can all give me all perception or investigation, your choice. Thanks for the follow, Amy. Comes down to the druid.
It's because I'm too short.
Vale. Roll for Ethel, please.
I need stuff rolled for me. So
Yeah.
Sorry, Ethel investigation
Or
or
perception. Whatever one's higher.
That's 3. 18.
Ethel, you notice a number of the shops. Kind of a trend. There's two trends. There's a lot of kind of weaponry and armor being in a lot of the shops that kind of stand out. And there's a lot of alchemical components and sort of products that are on display. There's not just like one alchemist shop, there's a number of them. Some have a weird symbol in them and some don't. You don't quite understand that without talking to anyone, but some of the shops that have alchemical products have a symbol in their, whether it be their sign, their like storefront window, or their door. But it's not every shop.
okay, Ethel looks over to, was it Helesia who's coming with him?
Yes. Helesia, Azuri, and Terrence.
Okay, Ethel looks to the rest of the group, and he's like, okay, so there's some weapons and stuff, and then there's all of this alchemy stuff and some weird symbols in there.
Alchemy.
Yeah,
Not my kind of thing.
As he points it out, you guys all kind of notice it. Terrence, if you were thinking that it's thieves' cant, it's not. Just to clarify for that character.
You know, my father has a friend whose grandpa's cousin was a master at alchemy. Although I think he died from an explosion.
Not too sure he's a master at alchemy then.
It was experimentation.
Anyways, so we gonna head to the meeting or shop around?
Probably head to the meeting. We don't know how long it's going to take, and if they're waiting on people, probably best not to be late.
Yeah. Well,
You can shop later.
I'm ready if y'all are.
I'm ready.
So, you guys make your way through and into towards like a gatehouse. Terrence, for the first time, you, based on your background, you realize that this is a very militaristic city. There is a very large guard presence, but they're not your standard guards. It's almost like if the standing army itself also polices the city. It's a very militaristic state.
Can I ask, what's the kind of racial kind of, are they all human, or are they most of the guard?
Primarily, as you walk through, the guard varies, but I mean, even just the general populace, it's primarily it is human. There are some. Hold on, let me just check the sheet here, because I just filled that out a second ago. They're primarily human. You do note a couple dwarves, a scattering of halflings. There is a good amount of half elves and some elves, but your probably two most common races are human and half elf.
These guards, these guys look like the real deal. These are not kind of
These aren't the ones you necessarily want to mess with, because they're actually soldiers.
These are the proper thing, then, so to speak.
Yeah, but for the most part, they even being that kind of, stern or more trained aspect, you realize immediately compared to like other towns you've been, they're much calmer. They you can kind of guess that they're not tested too often because their presence.
They look the part.
Yeah, they look the part.
Did they show any heraldry? Are they someone's yeomanry?
The only thing you're seeing is what you would assume at this point, and based on seeing the letter, is the actual symbol for the city.
Okay.
There's no like royal family or nobility type thing.
Oh, I was wondering, was there like a lord's heraldry that these are his guys, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's all based on the symbol of the city itself.
Okay, cool.
So, You guys make your way through. You basically explain where you're going, why you're going. One of the guards breaks off and says, "No, I'll take you to the Citadel."
Oh, thank you.
And kind of shows you along the way. So as you guys are going there, because this will be a pretty, depending on how many questions you ask, could be a long one, we'll go to the other group quickly, see where they're headed, and get them going, and then we'll come back to you guys. So, Vale and Goddard, you are, they have just broken off from you, headed towards the noble quarter. What are you two up to?
Well, I have my NPC with me.
Yes.
And I think...
I'm going to forget about her every time we come back to you, because I only see 2 tokens.
That's okay. She's rather quiet and shy, so it works out. Colin. And Colin is intentionally distracting me. So, feel free to yell at him for that. They are...
He is being yelled at.
Just making lewd gestures.
Uh-huh. So they're gonna, I think she really just needs to go see her parents right away, because it's been months that she's been trying to get back to see them.
Okay. So where do your parents live?
The Alchemist Guild has a sort of, like a small residence area for their, professors or, a few people that kind of live right next. Sort of a building immediately.
So you're basically knocking up 2 birds, 1 stone. Going to the Alchemist Guild.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I do this, because I totally memorized all of your parents' information. I'm not opening your sheet right now, Madfish, to read it all. No, not whatsoever. I would never do that. So, you make it through, and immediately as you're just kind of walking through the city, there is a good amount of people here. You expected the worst. The buildings are pretty well kept still. You kind of get towards, you probably take more of a roundabout way to kind of see like the lower district, the areas you would expect for the most part. There are definitely some buildings that were burnt to be cleansed and stuff like that. There was a number of different things taken on the outer walls of the city compared to, inside. But for the most part, where your family stays isn't that, is well kept, which tends to bode well for what you're going to walk into.
Yeah. She's still pretty nervous because she knows that, she's been contacting her parents because she has sending and gives them little updates now and then. But of course, it's only a few short sentences, and she knows that her parents will always tell her that it's not as bad as it actually is. So...
Because that's what parents do.
Mm-hmm.
So, you make your way up towards the Alchemist Guild. It's bustling like it always is. You guys are probably here at midday. So you guys make your way over, and it's bustling. You kind of show Goddard and the NPC whose name I'll never remember.
Anna.
Okay, Anna. Kind of the side entrance, which you can still get through and bring people through to kind of avoid, the hustle and bustle of everyday life, which is not going to stop because you're here. So you make your way in. So you're going directly to your parents, not to the head of the guild, correct?
Not yet. No, she kind of feels
so
like she's...
you guys kind of make your way through towards where your family quarters would be. The small, what would be considered like an apartment nowadays, inside this guild. As you make your way there, do you still have a key, or are you knocking? What are you doing?
She has a key, but she'll knock.
Okay. So, you eventually, the door opens with a creak, and Analia is your mother, correct?
No mother.
Who is... There's so many names here.
Oh, hang on.
Oh.
I'll be...
Parents.
Claire.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
That's her biological mother.
Okay, so what is your...
Anlin and Rican.
Rican is so Anlin's your adopted mother?
Father. They're both guys.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I didn't read these things.
No,
I
sorry.
haven't interacted with your character. So
No, I know.
Anlin answers the door.
Okay. She's just kind of like...
You'll have to give descriptions to Goddard and them because
Okay.
this is your job.
He's, yeah. He's, well, he's a drow. He's got short hair. He's a little... Definitely, there's no family resemblance at all. He's kind of bigger. He's a bit... Looks like he was probably a fighter at one point because he's a little beefy. But he's not that much taller than Vale. But as soon as he sees her, I imagine he would...
Oh, there's the big hug, yeah.
Yeah. So he would kind of open the door and, like, look a little wary and maybe a bit intimidating because he's a bit beefy. But as soon as he would just not be so scary if he was hugging Vale, I don't think.
No, it's that, like, Goddard is the immediate, like, and then, like, it just melts away. It's that... You're like, drow. I'm not supposed to be afraid of them, right?
He's pretty desensitized to it now. Because Vale.
Yeah.
Oh. See? Nothing to worry about, Vale.
So
You've got a
she's
hug.
super emotional at this point.
I mean, it's come in, please. And you are, and he extends a hand.
Anna quietly introduces herself. She's told them who Anna is.
Then I'm assuming, based on how you explained him to me at least, he just hugs Anna instead of extending a hand, and extends a hand to Goddard.
Goddard shake his hand.
So, as the door kind of closes as you guys go through, we'll kind of do this in an RP chat because I personally don't have enough information to run them all.
That's okay.
And keep them on point. We will switch back over to the other group. So you are with this guard who's kind of walking you through the more kind of noble quarter, what would be considered a more noble quarter to all of you, as you're kind of making your way up towards this large, stonework. Is called the Citadel. Looks like a keep or a castle.
Terence will ask the guard. Sorry, mate, I'm not around from here. Whose keep is this, by the way?
Well, technically, it is the city's keep. However, you asking who is currently residing inside.
Yeah, like, if you know what I mean, like who's the boss?
Yes, it's an Eric Barner, ERAC, and Barner, BARNER. I will type it out. And he refers to him as the General-in-Chief.
You keep cutting out.
He refers to him as the General-in-Chief.
The general in charge, okay.
Chief.
So a military man then, yeah? That's in character.
Yes, that's and the entire city is run through the military.
Do you have a lot of trouble outside the walls?
Of late, no. The last real skirmish we had was against the Frost Titans.
That sounds like it must have been a hell of a battle.
It was. Over 20,000 men perished from the Allied forces.
Holy hell.
You all would be aware of the Frost Titan conflict which happened in the Malbec Valley. It was felt across the continent.
Yeah, Cecilia might have heard stories about it.
Yeah, you would have heard drunken dwarven war stories.
Oh yeah.
The men that did come back, the 300 odd or so, I believe. I will get you the number later. Of the dwarven regiment from Door that went. They told some pretty outstanding stories, and of course they were slightly fluffed up because they're dwarves and they're drinking.
True.
Survivor's privilege.
Exactly.
She turns to the guard and says, "I have heard those stories back in Throw the Door."
Yes, many of them with those firearms. Went.
Terence will turn to him. Turn to the guard. Firearms. Are you familiar with them yourself?
We have very few here. I've seen them in use. They are sort of, well, we'll call them effective.
I'll say, yeah, I haven't seen them myself too often, but I've heard them more now and again.
Yeah.
Well, you can definitely hear them if you know what I mean.
The guy kind of chuckles and nods. He's like, yes, you can. Not exactly the stealthy approach. He looks to if anyone else has any questions. Anyone else have any questions they would like to ask the guard?
Oh, Osri's just admiring the scenery.
And at this point, Ethel's looking around for anything unique.
You note that most of the houses here are, I don't want to say prefab, but they almost have that kind of like, have you ever been to a prefab community where everything's pretty much the same? But this is noble housing. Like, almost all of them are very similar. There's not a lot of creative or artistic, flair put on a lot of these noble houses. At least on the outsides.
But these are single-family houses, are they?
Yeah, they are single-family houses. They are bigger than what you saw, what you're used to seeing. Terrence, you, depending on where, and I would say, you and Hesilia might get the feeling it's very much done almost like in a barracks-esque style, where it is, it's set up to be the most efficient as possible.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting that impression from the city so far. It's very military.
Yes.
Everything is by the book, by the letter, if you know what I mean.
And a ton of red tape.
Okay. Celia's turns to the guard and says, "Well, I'm from Thorold Door, of course, I mentioned earlier, but I'm also kind of in training, so I'm like a first lieutenant. So, is there like any personal things you guys do for training wise?"
Generally, we have a whole regiment of training. We train in every sort of weapon. Those with the arcane gift train alongside us to be soldiers as well. Everyone that is fit to be in the military and does not have, whether it be alchemical gift or craftsmanship gift, will either end up at the docks or end up in the military.
Do you have a knightly order?
No, we have no knights. We only have every soldier's basically on the same footing unless you are a commander. He kind of starts to go in, like, he explains that there are, different tiers of like how they run their the generaling. So like any member of the military, like as a kid, if you sign up for the military, you have an equal footing of potentially running Stonehaven one day.
So it would be very much that the military are given citizenship rather than being civilians.
Yes. But as long as you are in one of those three branches, whether it be the military, part of like the alchemical guild, or you work on the docks, which is the fishing, all the production for food and stuff like that, shipping and that industry. As long as you are contributing in the society, you are considered a citizen. The rest are civilians. Like, there are people that just aren't part of the three and live. They're treated normally, but they are almost like a second tier.
Terrence will kind of grin at you, man. So, is the pay that good too?
He points to his armor, which is very finely crafted. His sword, he goes, "This is all mine, not the city's."
That answers that question.
That's really fine crafted too.
So, he nods. You guys kind of make your way up towards this large citadel. Not as much of a guard presence as you would expect for most of you that have been towards what would be like a, whether it be a king's castle or something along those lines. Not as much of a guard presence that you would expect. Mainly because of how you would figure how deep you are, and the fact that if you were to attack this place, either the city has fallen, and there's not really, they've already lost all their guards, or you're a dead man because you stepped in here. Like, one of two. That's how they are pretty much treating this. You step into a nice, large kind of foyer as they show you to a kind of seating. A pair of servants comes and asks you if you need any drinks or anything along those lines.
Yes, I would like some ale, please.
Terrence wants to have a quick chat with the guard privately, if that's possible.
Yeah, he will nod and kind of step aside. He's not going to take you into a different room, but he'll pull you to a different side of the room. This room's huge, so no one has the passive perception to overhear the conversation.
Ethel requests tea.
Tea. Azuri, anything for you?
Water. No. Chocolate milk. If they can make it.
The older lady chuckles and says, "Yes, I believe we can make some." And she goes off before your drinks are brought. So Terrence, you are aside with the guard.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions for him.
He knows.
These firearms, do you sell them here?
We do not. The closest point that we were looking at getting firearms was from a seller in what is considered a small trading town known as Hillcrest. But they have since gone under during the plague. Our best bet to get some firearms now, I believe, was we were looking at importing them from Pearlside, the shipping town to the north. You would know that Pearlside from Cortia is like 13 or 14 days away by foot, but there are generally caravans that come into Cortia from Pearlside. Basically, if you were looking to buy, and not import, because importing would cost a lot of money, a number of them, but you're looking to buy personal use, you would talk to one of the Pearlside merchants, and this is your out-of-character stuff. You'd talk to one of the Pearlside merchants as they're in Cortia and kind of send a letter, and either travel there or kind of do your business via courier.
Thanks very much. One more question. Do you guys have an exotic pet store and like that here?
What do you mean by exotic? What are you looking for?
Well, I suppose something local. I don't know. I don't know. That's the kind of question I'm asking. Do you guys have a market for it like that here?
He sits there and thinks for a second, and he's kind of going through his brain as I generate his store. Give me 1 second. Where is it? There it is. It tells you that in the lower district, there is a small shop. It's known as the Greedy Bull. And he trains the horses and trains the falcons that they would use, any sort of beasts that they have. He goes, I don't know if he sells exotic things. I personally haven't been there. He goes, but
It's my best shot.
it's your best shot to find something, yeah. Or he would know.
Well, cheers.
someone.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks for that.
Yeah, he nods and as you kind of rejoin the rest of the group. As you guys are waiting, your drinks are brought to you, and we will pull back over to Vale and Goddard, who are just exiting your parents' house after having a lovely time. Reminiscing.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys just kind of, they hug all of you as you leave. Even Goddard gets hugs because, I'm sorry, it's a death cleric, and that just makes it so
Getting
much
hugged
better.
by Drow. It's just the best.
You get all the drow hugs, Goddard.
Goddard actually, oddly, isn't entirely completely uncomfortable nor comfortable with this. He's just like, I'm being hugged. This is Vale's fair. I best hug. How does one hug?
You get a long-winded explanation by Vale's parents of how to hug and how they learn to hug because they're drow. So, where are you guys off to, Vale?
Well, since we're in the Alchemist Guild, I might as well go do my meeting.
Okay. So, Vale, are you taking everyone with you? Are you leaving them behind? What are you doing?
Might as well. I mean, I don't want to.
Did you have a
Anna-
name for the
Anna
leader of
can-
the guild or no?
What's that?
Did you have a race and gender and name for the leader of the guild?
No, I hadn't.
Done.
So
I'm doing it right
make it
now.
up. So Anna will stay with the parents.
Okay.
Gonna hang out with dads, and Vale will take Goddard
Okay.
to the meet.
So, Goddard, you kind of walk as Vale leads you through, out of kind of this like apartment-esque style living arrangement. You kind of have to enter back through like the main shop, but as she opens the door, you realize you're behind kind of this long counter, almost like you've ever been to like a really old school bank that has like the metal, kind of still that metal like cage, almost iron bars style with like a long kind of granite counter. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of behind that, where the workers are that are, whether they're filling orders or they're taking orders. You're kind of walking back there, and then you go through a pair of just two large kind of marble doors as you walk through into this basically looks like a gigantic lab. There's upwards of 30 or 40 people here working at different stations. You also note that there's a number of kind of side rooms scattered about, which are probably, you would realize, for the more volatile things that they are making. But you kind of see that at the far end of this workspace, there's a set of stone stairs that kind of go up to this pair of double doors at the far end. Well, you would know that that's where the office is.
Okay. So she'll look around at the people. She sees the lab, and she just starts thinking about making things again, making stuff that blows up.
No wonder you're always complaining. This place is pretty well stocked.
She's like, yeah, this is what I left behind. Why it took me so long to leave?
He notes the things that look like they might be like unstable.
Oh, there's a number of them.
You blew a lot of this up at some point, didn't you?
You note that there's like that around some of those doors as you're walking, Goddard, there's like black stains underneath, like something had exploded long ago and attempted to be cleaned. Yeah, there's traces of Vale everywhere.
Yeah. She points out a few. She's like, oh, I did that one.
He sort of looks up to see what the ceiling's like.
Yeah, there's probably a few
Pretty
more.
black.
Goddard scratches his chin. I wonder. He scrolls through to see. No, he can't. Shame. I was going to see if you had a spell that would allow him to write Vale was here in the ash above them.
I have Mage Hand. Technically, I could do it.
So, you guys make your way up to these large double doors.
Yeah.
Knowing the procedure, you knock Vale, and kind of an older elven individual, white hair, end of life elf, so he's showing the signs of aging compared to what you would normally see as a very youthful exuberance. Vale, you're expecting this. Goddard, I think it's the first time you've dealt with an elf near the end of their life.
Yeah, I've never dealt with an elf that is so veritably ancient. They have white hair.
Yeah, like he's immediately looks at you. Oh, you're new. Kind of plays with his spectacles. Oh, Vale, dear. Oh, God, have you blown anything up?
Not since the siege.
But we weren't sieged.
Oh, I was in Cortia.
Oh, God, that's why it's been so quiet. Oh, well, welcome back, Vale. Welcome back.
This is my friend Goddard.
He extends his hand. A very firm handshake, actually, Goddard. I'm Brennan Stolly, and I am kind of the bookkeeping and assistant to the guild leader.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
He taught me.
Oh, God, that's why she told me to tap tea. Oh, this way. And he just kind of immediately, he now's putting the pieces together. Why she's like, you need to be calm today. Because, he now realizes and just put the pieces of who was coming to meet with the guild leader. And it's Vale. He's like, oh, lords. This way. As you kind of walk towards it's a very finely crafted desk. Got it as you look around, as the person that's never been here before. Vale, you remember being scolded probably in this office more than once. Especially as a young Vale, when you were learning.
Yes.
And you really liked blowing things up on purpose. More so than now.
Maybe on purpose. No, it was totally an accident, totally.
Goddard, you look around. You look around this room, and there's some very rare ingredients that seem to be sustained under some sort of magic condition. The one that you recognize the first, give me an investigation check.
Investigation check. Ha ha. 6.
Yeah, it's a big heart.
Oh.
You're not sure what from creature. Vale, you know it's a dragon. You can give me an investigation if you'd like to know the color.
Okay.
That's a big heart.
Yeah. He's like, ooh.
So, the shadow from the hood.
Many things that you see, by the way, Goddard, you would there's a dragon horn from some sort of dragon which you can't identify, but many things you would consider trophies. They're considered ingredients. Vale, you're not sure, but you think it's some sort of chromatic. You think it's you're not sure what kind though, but you're pretty sure it's a chromatic. Yeah, chromatic art. Basically based on what they would be using them for, they'd probably take it from a chromatic. So, you guys both are seated, and he looks at you. Well, do you require any sustenance?
Goddard's head slowly turns to the elf. I could go for a bottle of whiskey.
She elbows him.
Hey, listen, Vale. Local product then?
Yep.
Oh, just like this is one moment. He leaves you for a brief moment, and comes back with a bottle. It is a blue, almost crystalline blue sort of glass bottle with a familiar dark liquid inside. Goddard.
Oh,
and he places the bottle down. It's not a full size bottle. It's more of a, like a half measure. But he puts two glasses down in front of each of you. It's enough for each of you, but it's not enough to get drunk. It's enough to have a drink while chatting, He knows Vale. He knows if he gave her the big bottle, it wouldn't last.
It wouldn't
They had
even reach Vale.
precautions. They had precautions placed. Goddard.
It wouldn't
They have
even
the
get to Vale.
protocol. Like all the new hires, they get the protocol for like how to deal with her.
Yeah. And he's the one that wrote the protocol. So, about a couple minutes go by as eventually a back door opens. You don't, Vale. You completely are expecting this, so you're not caught off guard. Goddard, you probably are. The door opens. You see no one enter.
Am I having one of those days? He's just looking at Vale.
You're around a bunch of wizards, Goddard. What did you think was going to happen?
The next thing you see, Goddard, is the chair spins around. You start looking at the back of it, and it's still empty.
Goddard takes a small glass and he just downs what's in it.
Before you see a gnome, a female gnome, climb up into the seat, and look, and Lena go, Vale, dear! Already into the whiskey.
Just one.
You would know her
Goddard
as
takes
Myra
her
Gray.
glass.
What was her name? Sorry?
Myra Gray. I will.
Myra.
You can see it on the document.
Great.
So, she looks at you. So, I see you received my summons. And who are... And he just points from Vale to... You went with a cleric. I always thought
Goddard
you
waves.
more...
He's my friend.
You made friends? Never mind. Nope. Drow, death clerics makes sense. Makes total sense. So, down to business then.
Well, I guess he helped me out a lot, and I probably wouldn't have made it back here if it weren't for him. So I just wanted him to. I want everybody to meet him.
That's excellent. I'm very glad you made it back and through the plague itself. So,
Yeah.
Trying time.
I
may have overworked your dad slightly. And everyone else.
I sort of expected that.
Yes, you would have been sober for quite some time, Vale. It would have been a terrible thing had you been here.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I weren't.
So, Cortia,
Yeah.
how do you like it?
Well, it's all right. Kind of pretty, and I mean, it'll be nicer once they can fix all the broken stuff.
I heard. The siege
got
of the
to build
Knolls.
Yeah, I blowed them up good. I blowed them up real good.
She looks almost like with a remembering, and looks towards Goddard. Death cleric, not too fond of the undead, right?
That's one way of phrasing it.
There's a lot of undead out there right now.
And with time, they will burn.
You may be interested in heading back to the Bolton Keep. Down south, there was a group of adventurers that once came through the city. Terrible individuals. They had what was that family name? It was important. Business contacts north. The Amakirs, yes, the two of the Amakirs with them.
I was totally not going to help you.
No, I knew exactly what it was. The Amakirs, yes, they were apparently the only nobles in the bunch that came through, and they went to the Bolton Keep, and they dealt with some undead, but with the plague, and I believe some of the Bolton's curse is still there, but there's a lot in the haunted steps. The guards have been attempting to stay offshore and rain arrows down upon them, but well, you would know better about undead.
Better? It would depend.
Well, we get over there, and we blow them up.
Yes, the mages have been there, Vale. They keep coming. The concern is that they will run out of sustenance on those plains and try venturing over the mountains. And if a large horde of undead was to be able to get over those slopes, you're aware there's not much standing between them and those cities. We're generally fine because of the water, but it could be a large issue.
Well, sounds like you got yourself a project there, Goddard.
Ah, yes. So to your project, Vale. Do you wish to remain, or are you coming home?
Well, I mean, I kind of wanted to stay in Cortia a bit longer. For a while.
I'm asking if you're wanting to, we'll say, lay down roots in Cortia.
She kind of looks at Goddard. How
He would offer her a slight nod.
Yeah, I mean, 100 years ain't so bad.
So then, that makes my job much easier. I've been in talks with Cortia, and, well, apparently you're some sort of hero.
What, me?
I would assume you also took part in the defense of Cortia, motioning to Goddard.
He nods.
You understand that makes relations much easier for us with Cortia.
I would imagine so. She did blow them up real good, as she put it.
Well, we would like to expand our influence, and we need someone to run the guild. It'd be much smaller than this, obviously, and it would take much work, but we could get you started.
Wait. You want me to run something?
You have the renown.
Hey.
Your skill with alchemy is good. You have the natural disadvantage that you've worked with against all your life, with dealing with new clients. But I believe in you.
She looks kind of floored. And she doesn't really know what to say.
You would have to, explosion-proof place.
She looks to Goddard with a smirk and it's not even trying to hide it. Dear, this building has survived her entire life so far.
Goddard sort of opens and closes his mouth a few times.
She raises her hand and in feigning of whispering, quote unquote whispers to Goddard. You do realize she did have this brief episode with night terrors and casting, and she used to cast fireballs in her sleep. Okay? We have all precautions made.
Goddard lifts one of his arms to show a singed hole in the part under part of his robe.
There you go. So then, do you accept my offer, Vale?
Well, yeah. How could I say no to that?
Very well then. We shall, we shall discuss the finer details. However, judging by your friend's, disposition to whiskey, and she opens a drawer and pulls out, kind of this sealed, and wrapped thing with it has basically sealing wax on it and a symbol of the guild. And she hands it to you. Take him to your favorite spot, which you would know is since I'm sure you've already picked it out, would be the Cobalt Fermentory, the whiskey brewery in town.
She just gets this evil cackle. Yes.
So,
Distillery.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
As the pair
I'll
of you
stock up before we go home.
As the pair of you head out the door, we will transition to the other group as a, what looks to be a advisor of some sort, steps out to greet the four of you. You must be the four from Cortia.
Yep, that's us.
Yes, sir.
Very well met, very well met. Anything that you require before we enter?
Just a general brief what the meeting's about, if you don't mind. You didn't really say so in the letter.
Yes, of course. Our deepest apologies. We heard of or some of the adventurers. I don't know if you were there or not, so I did.
Waves. I was there.
A dwarf, of course you were. Of your exploits defending the city, and that has shown to us that we might want to invest in adventurers again. You do understand we've had some bad dealings with adventurers in recent memory.
Well, I understand that there's bad eggs in every basket.
Bad eggs doesn't generally set a bomb off in a crowded city street.
No, that's something else
Killing
entirely.
33.
Frankly honest, yeah.
Yes. And then his fellow adventurers made sure he was able to escape the guard. So, we are willing to give a second chance, and that is what this meeting is about.
I see. And you want us to be here as a sort of to say that the benefits of hiring adventurers, is it?
Not only the benefits of hiring adventurers, what the adventurers of your city are able to provide, and potentially what compensation you look for.
Oh, I get you now, yeah.
Sort of a meeting of terms, so one would say. We understand that you are 14 days by foot, but with obviously great magics available, you can be here much quicker and assist with certain things that we might have. So we want to make sure that it's worth our time, and you're the right group. And he kind of motions
Yeah, I'll
to
get you, mate.
the large doors at the end of the... And he goes, where are my manners? I am advisor Duncan's Worth, and I will post this out for you. He is a older human male, and I did not copy it, so when I went to paste, it pasted too.
Terence Falconer, nice to meet you.
Pleasure indeed.
Nice to meet you, Lucas. My name is Osri. Osri Lindaquil.
Lindaquil.
I'm Hesavia of Runehood from Tolador at your service.
Of course.
Also, Ethel Torlin.
Linden. Bard family, right?
Why, yes.
I
Professional.
I believe we've had one of your family members play here before, for a festival. I don't remember their name, I'm sorry.
Alexander?
It might have been, yes.
That's my father.
Very, very prestigious individual. Come this way. Maybe at one point we'll have you perform for a festival.
It would be a pleasure to.
He bows as you guys are led into what seems to be like a war room of sorts. You get that it's their meeting room, but there is a very large table sat in the center, and there's a topographical map of the continent on it, with varying places. Hazelia probably smiles as she's like, "Look, there's Thorlador." As she points
She
out.
seems so excited about it too.
Yeah, I know your character. So you kind of see that, and there's a number of different what you would recognize quickly as generals. Before one elder, white hair, probably in his 60s, general walks down towards the head seat and greets you all. I am Eric Barner. I am the General-in-Chief of Stonehaven.
Terence will salute out of instinct.
He looks to all of you and says, Very well then. Please, sit yourselves.
Terence will sit down.
So,
Ethel sits down.
Osri crawls up onto a seat.
Takes a seat.
as he looks to everyone, says, well then, we've had a storied past with adventures. And were it not for the bravery and the words that have come from both the Titan War and the recent defense of Cortia, we likely would not be having this conversation. In terms of our day-to-day life, it is very structured. A number of adventurers would find it difficult to reside within the city, which is understanding of why we don't have very many that do reside here. The odd passerby. However, we are looking at hiring those from your city. Cortia also has a standing army, has had, outside of one of our own, and you see like almost a bulge in his wrinkled forehead as he says this, causing trouble and being an adventurer and a student. It seems the most of you have worked to gain your renown and are capable individuals. So, tell us, what generally do you look for as compensation for work?
Well, Terence will start if that's all right. He looks at the others first and see if he's good to talk, unless they want.
Celia says there's motions that go on.
Well, honestly, the obvious factor would obviously be gold, but don't get me wrong, not every adventure is always about money. Some do it for, if you've met any, some lads you'll meet are questing nights, and they'll do it because it's the right thing to do, or they believe that whatever you're offering them is for the greater good, so to speak. But generally speaking, most adventurers that I've met, my personal experience is, they want the coin. I'll be frankly honest with you. Some want a bit more security. Some might have other motives, but there's very few that'll turn down the gold piece, if you understand what I mean.
Good. And so gold is obviously a very easy currency for us to trade in. Is there any sort of conflicts that... And he's searching for the word that you're involved in, that we should be aware of.
I heard there was a forest fire earlier.
Yep, there was, but that was more so. Wasn't really a conflict. It was basically two idiots. I can't even explain it. I'll be honest with you. It would make no sense. It was just two idiots that made a mistake.
Idiots? Who?
Terence will lean in and whisper, Lorne and Sumter.
Lorne's not an idiot. See? Nah.
So, we would ask that you not randomly light our forests on fire. We do use the wood. Here comes. He looks towards Azuri. Anything that you would like to add to general compensation?
I'm not a needy person. I'll be happy with anything, really.
Looks to Ethel.
Well, if I get honest pay, I mean, I'll be fine. Anything, really.
Nods, and to you, Hazilia, of Thorlador.
Well, basically, she's hoping to like continue her training as a mighty warrior, and hopefully to get her name mentioned back at home, and hopefully to lead her own army. And she mentioned that to the general in chief, and says, "I am as for people who I thinking that I might be good allies. I only consider those who knows the risks when coming to a battlefield, and are not being cowards or run away, or just do something that's just stupid or just random, thinking that it's a good deed to them. But if it's a good deed to others."
He nods. Well, we're not official allies with Orlador. We could extend to someone as yourself, take part in some of our training activities, test your dwarven might against our rigorous training.
Cecilia smiles and says, "I'll gladly do anything if you want me to do it."
Nods. So then, at this point, is there anything else you would like to tell us about your adventuring community from Cortia?
Generally speaking, it comes down to a few options. A lot of what we'll do, what I have done, it would be things that people just simply can't ask the guard to do, or due to circumstances the guard are unable to do, and that happens as well. Like you as you know yourself, you don't have infinite resources. Your men can't be everywhere at once. A lot of it would be kind of outside communities looking for there's something to be rescued or something's gone missing, looking for caravans or even protecting caravan trade, that sort of thing. Let me think. The other thing that can be kind of problematic is as well for sometimes the adventurers is you can have a guy he'll hire people, but he'll expect them to follow his orders, but he won't know what he's doing, and that can be an issue as well. Sometimes when you're hiring a group of adventurers, it's best to let the actual people who know what they're doing do the job you ask them for.
We would be hiring you as contractors. He would give you the
That's
task. How you complete it, as long as if you were to do. And he looks like to Terrence as the rogue. He looks to Terrence and just. We'll call it less than savory options. It is not tracked back to us.
Well, of course, that's
a professional courtesy.
Exactly, that's a kind of an unwritten agreement, I think, between both parties.
Well then, we have a trial task for your group.
All right.
The reward is 3,000 gold per head. He motions to adventurer, not per head that you bring back to him. Because that was once asked of me as a DM. And, of course, more work in the future.
Okay, so this task you want us to do?
Yes, has any of you heard of the Haunted Mists Steep?
Oh, me. My father told it once as my bedtime story.
Yes.
It wasn't a good bedtime story.
No, it's not a good anytime story, my dear. Since the plague has killed many people, whatever curse is on that forsaken Bolton Keep has repopulated the undead there. We simply wish you to either be able to cleanse the keep or thin out the undead.
Terrence will ask the obvious question. How many undead have your people encountered or seen there? Rough numbers, if you wouldn't mind.
Rough numbers, a few hundred on the shore of the steep during our patrolling. We cut them down. We cut them down every day, and they appear every next day. So we don't know if it's the same or there's more. We can't be sure without sending a full, putting our entire resources to clear out a step.
And they're all coming from this one keep area.
That is our assumption, yes. And it's a storied history of death and betrayal.
I just have a question just to throw it out there now. Is it possible that, say, if we were to take the keep, collapse the keep, would that help? Would that be an option that you'd be willing to consider?
If it stops the undead, I have no... There's no use for that keep, personally.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to check that with you.
Mm-hmm. Looks to the rest. He kind of pulls out, extends his hand as a younger kind of boy, squire, runs over and hands him a scroll case, and he extends it over the table to whichever one of you takes it, and says, "For you to post in your city and to gain the resources."
Hesilia will take it.
Okay.
Yep.
Very well then. Upon completion, return here. Do try and bring some proof so we can pay you on the spot instead of sending it later.
Oh, of course. If you could give us one thing, can you point us in the direction of someone who has lore on the area? Kind of, I suppose, a local historian maybe might be the best bet.
I can do you one better because he is not amongst us. He points to there's like a really long, kind of like room-length bookcase, and he whispers to the squire the title and hands a rather thick book, and extends it over towards you.
Oh, thank you very much.
The other, one other individual who may have it, were anyone that has been to Stonehaven before. There was a group of adventurers, I don't know if any of them are with you, that once were tracking down a green knight, kind of what was believed to be a myth at one time, however was very real and very dangerous. They have been there. These are stories and these are myths. I don't know how much of each is relatively true. Seeking out some of those individuals would potentially be beneficial to you.
But certainly look into it. That's definitely a lead.
And of course, when you're ready, you may use the teleportation circle that you came in upon, and we will set a boat across for you.
Thank you very much. If you have any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them. So the others are here.
I think for at least this initial meeting, we have terms now to see if the stories we've heard were mere myth or they're the reality. He kind of nods to each of you and stands up as, the other man walks over to you and says, "Well then, Dunkus comes back. This way, I'll escort you back to the Middle District. I can answer any other questions you might have."
Thanks.
So he kind of shows you guys, all four of you, towards back through the city itself, heading to what would be considered the trade district, and says, "Well, there's anything that I can help you in terms of places to find, people to talk to, anything of that sort."
Sorry, Mira, go ahead.
Alrighty, Hesilia says, yes, the General Chief said that there's a training area. Do you know where that is exactly?
That would be outside the city, outside the eastern gate. It's where most of the training happens. The barracks are inside the gate for the new recruits, and the training yard is outside the walls.
She'll take note of that.
Terrence will ask if he could point in the direction of the lower district, and give him that name he was given. Oh God, sorry, I had it written down. 1 second.
The Greedy Bull.
That's the one. Thank you.
He points you in actually to the east. He says she'll be going on farther, down towards the gate. You're gonna want to go, and he mentions the far almost towards the ports, but in that general direction. He says if you hit the docks, you've gone too far. You'll notice it looks like a farm inside the city.
Okay, thanks very much.
Osri's gonna follow Terrence.
Okay, and what about Ethel?
Ethel, he asks, "Is there some kind of pet store or something like that around?" Because he didn't hear the conversation that
Oh,
Terrence had.
he says, "Oh, you were going to be wanting to look for the greedy bull. It'd be your best bet. Just follow this Terrence chap."
All right, and then Ethel turns and follows Terrence.
Okay, so we'll go to, as that's all going on, we will head back to Vale and Goddard, heading to the Cobalt Fermentory.
The most magical place on earth. It makes the happy juice.
So you come outside this large kind of stonework building, which is just on the outside of like the trade district itself. Generally, you kind of get Goddard to feel, there's no bar here. This is primarily just a brewery or a distillery. In terms of, this is where they make it.
So we're buying from source now.
On a very special letter, yes.
I told you. I get you the good stuff.
Does
You
this
kind of,
mean industrial amounts, like the big store amounts? He just kind of looks around, like seeing if there's any casks being or kegs being rolled out.
you don't see any outside the front of this place. You don't see any. You see, it looks, there is a sign. And as you guys open the door, you're kind of in what looks to be like almost like a reception area. There is a tiefling woman sitting behind the desk. As looks up to you. Oh, Vale, hello. And she just immediately knocks on the back wall.
Phil just kind of looks a little awkward.
Oh, Vale, what did you blow them up?
Oh, no, Vale would never burn us up. My dear, I just had to summon someone to get some sort of pushcart.
Goddard sort of looks at Vale, chuckles, and says, "Oh, I think we've partially got that covered," as he pats his bag.
You would know her as Zahala.
Zahala?
Yep.
I've met her before.
Yeah, you've been here before. Whether it be buying for like an event that you're like, oh, we need someone to go to the distillery to go get stuff for like,
Yeah, and Vale's already happening.
a holy ceremony or something or a party of the Alchemist Guild, and Vale's the comical streaks and smoke out the door already. So yeah, you're relatively intimate with this female tiefling.
Yeah. They may have flirted in the past.
That's how Vale gets the good stuff.
She's looking pretty excited. She's kind of bouncing up and down. Anna has joined them by now.
Okay. You kind of get along the lines that she's like, so I didn't know that the guild was putting anything on.
Well, apparently, I'm starting a new branch of the guild.
She leans over the desk, very intrigued. You can, at this point, you can see her tail kind of flicking back and forth behind her as she leans over and looks at Vale and just says, "Did you finally cause an explosion that killed Mira?
No.
Are they sending you away?"
No.
You get that she's playing, but she's having a good time in it.
She's just kind of crossing her arms like she's all offended, but she's trying not to laugh. She's just like, no, they think I'm responsible or something.
Oh God, they haven't learned of you yet. And she sits back down.
But I'm like, hey, you don't look no gift horse in the mouth. Someone offers you a guild, you take it.
She goes and like reaches and gets a business card. Well, we have no problem shipping.
She puts that business card in one of her very important pockets.
As she looks at, well, then what can we do for you today?
And she hands over the thing that she got. I believe I was given something with a crest on it. Or
She goes, I can only... She opens it up and reads it. You need to make me a promise then, Vale.
Oh?
You don't drink all this at one time. And hand it back to you.
She's like, well, how much are we talking here, cuz?
She says, it's... Well, it'll be ready at the circle for you. A complimentary glass from your... Or a complimentary bottle each for your travels about the city.
Oh, thank you.
She goes in and grabs full same sort of style that you just had, Goddard, like of the bottle, and she gives each of you a bottle, a full size bottle.
Feel much better. Just knowing it's there. Just knowing it's there.
Could two people drink all of the whiskey at once?
Anna kind of elbows.
She looks. She looks. You're a cleric, right?
Yes.
What happens when your
Sometimes.
entire body is whiskey?
Only good things.
Then yes, and she hands you the paper. Cleric's orders, of course.
It's a good thing this cleric loves his whiskey.
You can replace blood with whiskey.
Goddard,
right?
do you look at the letter? The
Yes.
order form? It's for the grand opening. It's enough whiskey to put on a party.
Vale. Vale. We're going to need to go back to the guild. This amount's only enough for me and you.
Oh, well,
For
I
the
guess I'll
grand
have to bring
opening.
our own drinks then.
Yeah. Can I order some more?
Oh, yeah, of course. How many crates would you like?
How much are they each?
3,800 gold.
3,800.
38 bottles of whiskey.
Oh,
Full size.
He leads to Vale.
I ain't got that much, sweetheart.
I got almost enough.
I mean,
You would recognize that they ordered you 4 crates for the
Yeah.
opening.
yeah.
They know Vale. They figured if
She's
they
like,
ordered
"Nope."
triple what they needed for an opening, one might show up.
There might be enough.
Got us of. Can I have 2 bottles?
Yeah, 200 gold.
Cool. He drops 20 platinum.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
takes it.
she'll buy that as well. She'll
Okay.
buy it.
Yeah, so you each get a couple bottles of cobalt whiskey.
She's very grateful. She's pretty amazed. She never expected that they would do this for her. So
All of the good whiskey.
all of the goodness.
So, as you guys set back out from the fermentory, we will go touch base with... We'll do Hazelia first, because I figured that's going to be the quicker of the two. So, Hazelia, you make your way... You're going right to the training yards?
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way through the barracks. You see a number of varying younger aged soldiers. A few older ones that look like they're instructors that are about day-to-day life. It's getting towards dusk. As you make your way outside the gates, you see what seems to go on for more than about a half mile. Various training exercises being put on, as well as a number of different kind of structures built for training. They have everything from offensive siege warfare places to train to defensive, all sorts of different sort of military engagement style stuff outside.
Something that she's almost familiar with back at home.
Probably on a much grander scale than Thorlador's army.
Yeah.
Like, they actually have the room to completely build it outside. Like, there's even, like, some mock buildings set up for, like, engagement in city streets and stuff, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. They have placed a lot of their wealth into making sure their army is on point.
She likes it a lot.
Is there anything specifically you're looking for here?
Right now she's like looking to see what can be learned, and basically mostly on her axes because she loves her axes.
Yeah, I mean, as you move around and look, kind of as a outsider, looking through things, there's a number of different things that you've never encountered, being run, as well as there is you see that they're training. A lot of them seem to be training against what you would consider as live animals, but you see one die and it just kind of turns into this greenish energy and dissipates. It's obviously was a summoned creature. They seem to be, and the creatures are not holding back. You're seeing guard after, soldier after soldier go down almost to the point of death, and then get pulled up by clerics or medics, and kind of escorted off. So they are training for the real thing, with with very little safety. We'll put it like the safety is they won't die. They'll get the shit beat out of them though.
She nods and looks at it around. Is like, this is something I can share back at home if I get a chance.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, that's pretty much what unless you're trying to talk to an instructor, pretty much you walk through and you see a number of different kind of exercises. You stop and watch and stuff like that. So that will take us to the other three, as you guys eventually make your way down to the pet store / basically the animal trainer, the Greedy Bull.
Okay, before we get there, Terrence will turn around and stop and kneel down to look at Osri face to face. Hey, listen, when we get back home, okay, don't mention when we put up the posters. Don't mention nothing about the explosions or anything like that when you get back.
What?
Do you remember what that general said about someone from Cortia blowing up a bunch of people?
It wasn't from Cortia.
Well, I don't know where they were from or the adventure. They could be from Cortia. That's more so than else. Don't mention that up in the inn.
Okie dokie dokie.
My reason is very simple. If we don't know who it is, and they're willing to blow up a bunch of innocent people to escape, what would they do to anyone in the bar?
Don't worry, Terrence. My lips are sealed.
Good. It's just for everyone's own sake, if you know what I mean. Right then, go to this place and have a look around.
Yeah, so it really does look like a full farm. That's just, obviously without the crops, right? A full farmhouse with barn and a number. You see, I mean, for the most part, it looks like stables and a number of horses. A couple different breeds than you normally see. Like, the colorations are different, some of the musculature, but they're still just considered a horse, right? But there's some exotic breeds in there and around. You kind of see that the farmhouse itself, the front of it seems to be set up almost like a shop front, where he probably lives in the back.
Horsies! Ozri's gonna go to the horses and pet them.
Oh yeah, for the most part, they're very easily pet. They seem to be very, even with the amount of people walking up and down and all stuff, they are very well trained. Like they're not freaking out whatsoever.
Come on, Osri.
Okay.
I'm gonna go check. Do you have any riding dogs?
Are there? So are you guys entering the shop now? Because you're outside with the horses.
Yeah, I was going to go
There's
find
some
him.
dogs.
Yeah, I was going to go find the actual guy. If you know.
Yeah.
What I
So
mean.
as you kind of the door opens, you hear the little the chime. Azri, you see a winged cat kind of sleeping up on top of a looks like a bookcase.
Flashbacks.
I'm sorry. It just kind of like, barely opens one eye at you guys as you enter. Does not seem too frightened. As you hear, 1 minute.
Okay.
Ozri's just gonna stare at the cat and just have flashbacks of the camp fire.
Look at Osri and look at the cat, then look back, look at Osri and kind of.
And it's like Vietnam War flashbacks.
Are you okay there, Osri?
Yeah, totally fine.
Azri, make me a perception check. Out of the corner of your eye, through an open window, you see movement, and it starts coming towards you. Do you look at it?
Yes, Ozri's gonna
You
turn
see
and look.
this long neck with a bird head, which you would know as an ostrich, just come in and get right next to you and just look at you.
Ozri's gonna jump and say, "Oh, hello."
Kind of just like squawks at you and looks, tilting its head to the side.
She's gonna try and pet it.
It lets you pet it.
Squeak!
The ground kind of shakes a few times, almost like something or someone heavy is headed towards you. As the owner of the greedy bull steps out, he stands at about like 7.5 foot tall. He is very hairy, and he says, "Ah, my how can I help you? Let me introduce myself. I'm Adarian Wolfheart. You can, let's see. I would say at least everyone can roll me in nature. I'll give it to the druid on what he is, but everyone else can roll me nature. So Osri and Terrence.
Dem 20s.
Damn 20s, though. Terrence, you're not quite sure what he is, based on their CR. But Osri and Ethel, you realize this is a Minotaur.
Ozri's just gonna stand there and gawk at the size. In amazement.
I see you've met Betty. Motions to the ostrich. That's basically has its like head leaning on your shoulder. Yep, Betty. Betty the ostrich.
Is Betty a riding ostrich?
Not yet. Eventually. Personal client.
Oh, interesting. I'm looking for a riding dog.
Certain breed or just any dog that can
Well, let's see what you have and what you could recommend for herself. Then there, pointed Osri.
Well,
Huh? What?
how tall is Osri? This will matter based on...
Ozri is 3 foot 4 inches.
He goes, well, I have one that no one's really wanted as a riding dog. She's very lovable and has been trained to be ridden. She's got kind of stubby legs, though. More of a companion, but can be used as a riding dog.
Do you want to have a look, Osri?
What? Oh. Okay.
You realize he starts with a one pitch whistle, Osri, you immediately is, and then moves to a few different pitches that are very subtle. Almost like he's trained them to go off. There's a single pitch for the whatever kind of like animal it is, and then it's each individual animal would have its own pitch, kind of combination, and all of a sudden you see through. He looks down behind the counter and goes, "Oh, there she is!" And he scoops her up and puts her basically over the counter and on the ground. It is a giant corgi.
I knew it! The dire corgi.
It is a dire corgi.
What do you think, Osri?
Ozzy is excited.
It is all the
it's-
fluff, and it's, the tongue's hanging out. It's trying to smell for food.
I'll let Osri have a look at it, and then I'll go to the Minotaur and ask him. Sorry, the outer character I know he's not. The main character I know he's not the Minotaur.
No, I'm sure that one of them would have said, a Minotaur by now.
How much is it? What's the name?
For her, she looks to Osri. He looks over Osri and goes, I think she'll be a good companion for her. Mentioning Osri to the dog. He goes, 50 gold. She needs a good home.
Osri, if you're happy with that, that's a done deal, and Terence will hand over the money if Osri's happy.
Ozzy is just loving up on the corgi already.
Oh, yeah, it's already licking. Yeah, it's licking you. It's,
just hugging it and be like, "He's so cute and fluffy."
Have you got a saddle and a riding bit?
Yes, and he kind of grabs them.
Oh, well, there we go then. Terence will take out the money and pay for it. And he'll turn to Osri. Now you have a new bestie.
Ozzy is gonna look at Terrence with happy, almost gonna cry in joy. Like, thank you. It's so cute.
Do you is your Arcana visible? Is your Arcana visible on your person?
What do you mean?
Like, can the Minotaur see that you have an Arcana?
Like your spellcasting focus?
Yeah, like, is it are you wearing it or is it in a bag?
I mean, if you would count as her ocarina as a use to cast spells, then yeah, she always has it 24/7.
So he goes, pull that out. He motioning to your Arcana, Ocarina, and says, just follow the tones. And he teaches you how to summon it by playing the notes. As long as she can hear it, she'll come running.
Great.
And her name is Epona.
Epona?
Yes.
Epona. Okay.
Terence will shake the Minotaur's hand. That's a done deal. And you've got the saddle and the riding bit as well.
Yep.
Alright. Ethel steps up to get the attention's man and asks, do you have any birds?
What kind of bird are you looking for?
Well, show me what you have.
Out of character, I'm asking, what are you looking for?
Hmm?
Out of character, I'm asking, what kind of bird are you looking for? He's got a number of falcons, eagles, sort of songbirds, all sorts
how
of
about
things. What kind?
A falcon.
Yes, all sorts of different falcons. How old?
Okay, maybe one not too young, not too old, so about middle age maybe.
Okay. Certain training that you were looking for to have, or?
Do you have a scouting bird, maybe?
Scouting, yes. You have he kind of steps to the window, opening the side window, and again does a similar sort of whistling, and kind of one of these birds kind of flies in, lands on his arm, and he shows you, it's a mature falcon, and he kind of goes to the back, lets you kind of put it on your arm, and he goes to the back wall and he pulls out it's a very small kind of leather bound book, and says, this should help you. He doesn't. He has no clue you're a druid.
Alright. So Ethel takes the book, he has the bird on his arm, and he asks how much.
Scouting bird book. Nothing else you need, correct? You don't need a falconry gub or anything?
Nah, just the bird in the book.
About 25 gold.
Ethel hands over the gold.
Mm-hmm. So, matter of fact, you can just mark that off your sheet.
Yep.
So, that book there tells you the different things it will try and communicate to you if it sees things. Pretty smart animal.
Alright.
Does that conclude business, or is there anything else you guys require?
Do you have dog treats?
he nods and pulls like a small handful, putting it in like a pouch for you, and just gives it to you. Those are her favorites.
What are they?
Immediately, she just they're like little, kind of like baked bones, like that he probably specially makes himself. And immediately she just, the eyes go wide, and she just sniffs and stares at the bag.
No, you can have them when you get home, Epona.
So.
Oh yeah, does she have a name?
She does not. You can call her whatever you'd like. And by she, that's a he. It's a male.
It's a he. Alright, well thank you, sir.
He nods. So, as you guys leave the shop, you all end up, because we're just about 11 p.m., you all end up gathering together back at the teleportation circle and end up back in Cortia. You have a mission. You have a couple new friends. You guys get some information, some lore, and we'll see where you guys take it from here. So, we'll say goodbye to Twitch.
Bye.
Bye, Twitch.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we'll see you at some point tomorrow. Bye.